Welcome to the BELATED Tech Channel's 85th edition and second year of the Space and Tech Rewind. We are reviewing the milestones that occurred on each day in the week of January 17th through January 23rd in space exploration, science, and technology. January 17th, 1963, the U.S. Department of Defense and NASA agreed on this date in the Division of Authority over the Cape Canaveral-based Atlantic Missile Range that would eventually become the Kennedy Space Center and Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The Air Force would continue as single manager of the Atlantic Missile Range and host agency at the 15,000-acre Cape Canaveral launch area. NASA's Launch Operations Center would manage and serve as host agency at the Merritt Island launch area, north and west of existing DoD installations. The DoD and NASA would each be responsible for their own logistics and administration in their respective areas. Specific mission functions like preparation, checkout, launch, and test evaluation would be performed by each agency on its own behalf, regardless of location. The DoD retained certain fundamental range functions, including scheduling, flight safety, search and rescue operations, and downrange airlift and station operation. The agreement was struck between NASA Administrator James E. Webb and Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. Webb was administrator until 1968, and McNamara served as secretary until the same year. McNamara became president of the World Bank for 13 years before retirement, while Webb went into semi-retirement after leaving NASA. The Cape Canaveral Agreement, struck by the two men, remains essentially unchanged in 2022. January 18, 1911, engineer and Curtiss exhibition team member Eugene B. Ely landed on a 120-foot temporary flight deck mounted to the bow of the cruiser USS Pennsylvania on this date. The Pennsylvania was moored in San Francisco Harbor. It was the first time an aircraft landed on a ship. The takeoff point was the nearby Tanforan racetrack in San Bruno. Ely was already the owner of another naval aviation first, the takeoff from a ship. He had performed the stunt on November 14, 1910, from the bow of the light cruiser USS Birmingham at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard. Not only did he successfully take off with 80 feet of temporary wooden deck, he successfully landed 2.5 miles away on Willoughby Spit. Ely's fame was to be short. He was killed during a flying exhibition on October 19, 1911, in Macon, Georgia. In 1933, the Navy posthumously awarded him the Distinguished Flying Cross for his seminal contribution to U.S. naval aviation. January 19, 2006, the New Horizons interplanetary probe was launched on an Atlas V rocket from the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station's Launch Complex 41 on this date. It was to be the last U.S. robotic mission to an unexplored planet in our solar system, and at 36,400 miles per hour was the fastest man-made object ever launched from Earth. After a flyby of asteroid 132524 APL, New Horizons made a close approach to Jupiter on February 28, 2007, receiving the necessary gravity boost to continue its mission. On July 14, 2015, the probe approached within 7,800 miles from Pluto, making it the first spacecraft to explore the planet. On January 1, 2019, New Horizons flew by 486958 Arakoth, a 22-mile-wide Kuiper Belt object about 45 AU from Earth. The probe still maintains power at 77% of launch maximum, so is expected to be operational until the 2030s. The next Kuiper Belt object encounter is still being researched. Enjoying our content? We issue new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe so you stay current. Subscribing is free, and we encourage you to browse our 350-plus video library, where you can find more milestone installments for every day of the year, as well as tech documentary segments, current events in space exploration, science, and technology, gameplay recordings, reviews of tools and equipment, and reviews of small electronics and appliances. Each video is tagged with an alphanumeric identifier in the title, so searches for particular segments are quick and easy. January 20th, 1633, Galileo, at age 68, left his home in Florence, Italy to face the Inquisition in Rome on this date. By June 22nd, he buckled under the threats and interrogation by the Inquisition and renounced his belief that the Earth revolved around the Sun. Despite recanting, he was placed under house arrest for years, and he died in 1642. The incident would prove to be a lasting and enormous embarrassment to the Catholic Church, who had been relying on Scripture and the science of the time in making its determinations. But it did result in one important achievement. Galileo had plenty of time to write his book, Two New Sciences, on classical mechanics. It is still considered to be one of the seminal writings in the field of modern physics. January 21st, 2000. The domain Twitter.com was registered on this date. It was later purchased by Twitter Inc., a company founded in 2006 whose main product was a microblogging app. The app caught on with media members and celebrities. Media members were able to rush scoops to their audiences, while celebrities could bolster their brands independent of studios and corporations. Twitter was on the forefront of the rise of social media, joined by apps like Snapchat, Vine, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Social media beget the rise of the social influencer. Social influencers included personalities that hawked lifestyles, cosmetics, and gaming, but also the media members and celebrities themselves who used the platforms to make political commentary. This in turn led to the rise of the social political pundit, who have begun to squeeze out legacy reporting and dominate every media niche as media companies try to monetize their outlets boosted with high click rate content. The future of Twitter and other .com companies founded in the late 1990s and early 2000s is murky. Twitter's CEO is a big US Democratic Party donor, and he has used the company's app to censor users not aligned with the Democratic Party, while leaving foreign governments free to use Twitter as part of their propaganda campaigns. The long-term business case for this type of behavior is unclear, to say the least. Other dominant .coms have also aligned themselves politically with the Democratic Party, even going as far as to use their platforms to suppress Twitter's competitors, such as Parler and Gab. Again, the investor case for alienating half of these companies' customers is puzzling. We'll see how this all sorts out. Have you agreed with our choices, or do you think there are other events in space and tech history that were better? Go ahead and share with us by dropping a comment below. If you have suggestions for other space and tech milestones, let us know. We'll credit milestones we pick for future videos to those viewers that post them. And don't forget to click the bell notification icon so you don't miss upcoming videos. January 22nd, 2003. The last transmission was received from the Pioneer 10 deep space probe on this date. The signal received was very faint with no telemetry received. NASA's Deep Space Network did not detect a signal during the final contact attempt on February 7, 2003. The last time a Pioneer 10 contact returned telemetry data was April 27, 2002. Pioneer 10, launched on March 3, 1972, was originally designed to fly by Jupiter. The probe was at 82 AU, or 76 billion miles from Earth, at the time of its last communication. The last signal took 11 hours and 20 minutes to reach Earth. The spacecraft was headed in the direction of the star Aldebaran, 68 light-years away. It will reach the vicinity of the red giant star, barring some calamity, in about 2 million years. January 23, 1969. 4 Soviet cosmonauts, Leonov, Tereshkova, Bergovoy, and Nikolaev, narrowly avoided being murdered during a parade on this date. The parade was in honor of the crews of Soyuz 4 and 5, which had docked their 2 spacecraft in low Earth orbit on January 16, 1969, the first time for 2 crewed craft. On the 23rd, the 4 were in Moscow as part of a motorcade that included Leonid Brezhnev, when a disgruntled junior army officer opened fire on their car, killing the driver and delivering a storm of bullets into the entire vehicle. The lead vehicle in the parade was an open-topped convertible containing the Soyuz 4 and Soyuz 5 crews. The officer ignored that car, targeting the second car in line, which he thought was Brezhnev's car. It was not. The Soviet leader was in a different vehicle. Somewhat miraculously, none of the 4 cosmonauts were seriously injured and participated in a delayed ceremony later that same day. 2 of the 4 would go on to return to space in future missions. On December 30th, 2021, space launch company Firefly Aerospace halted its launch operations after the U.S. government sought divestment of foreign ownership over national security concerns. The company is controlled by Ukrainian entrepreneur Max Polyakov. The sale was ordered by the Interagency Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, which has authority over sensitive technologies viewed to be essential to military readiness or damaging to national security. Polyakov acquired the assets of the former Firefly Space Systems in 2017 after it filed for bankruptcy during an intellectual property dispute with Virgin Galactic and Virgin Orbit. He recapitalized the company so it could continue development of its Alpha Light Duty launch vehicle, which made its first orbital launch attempt 4 years later on September 3rd of 2021. The Alpha launch manifest is short, but does include a satellite for the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, among several commercial payload missions. Firefly has leased Vandenberg Space Force Base's Launch Complex 2W and the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station's Launch Complex 20 to perform launches of its Alpha and planned Beta and Gamma vehicles. We hope you enjoyed this 85th episode of Belated Tech Space and Tech Rewind. If so, click that like button. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, or just stay in touch by following us on our microblogging accounts, which are listed below: the community feed for this channel, our Instagram feed, and our Minds page. We announce all new videos and post some unique content on those outlets. And if you prefer an alternative video distribution source, consider visiting our channel on Rumble. Thanks for watching.